Alright, let's talk Dexter. I don't know what it is about the early 2000s, but they knew what the hell they were doing. After watching Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, nothing has come quite as close to filling the hole in my heart that these shows I've had. So after spending countless hours basically looking through recommendation lists and Reddit posts to see what other people are recommending, I came across a show called Dexter. At first, I was like, why am I gonna watch a show that's like 18 years old? But I honestly think I stumbled upon a gem. And now that it's on Netflix, I figured why not talk about it? Because you can watch it too. So wear your favorite Cuban shirt, grab a cigar, I guess, grab a knife, maybe? And let's delve deeper into a Zoomer's Guide to Dexter Season 1. Now, admittedly, this is not the first time I've heard about this show. I mean, it's been around for 18 years. I've seen his like plastic wrapped face like on TV and stuff, but I figured it was just kind of like I don't know, kind of like a show geared towards women because women for some reason love murder fantasies. I don't know, cue Hannibal or You or something along the lines of that. But actually, I was still kind of right about it, but this show is awesome. Granted, the show sometimes gets a little soapy, but this show really is something worth checking out. So let me give you the rundown. Basically, if you don't know, Dexter is the resident serial killer of the beautiful town of Miami. Now, man's got the tism. And not the fun flavor that lets you calculate birthdays down to the date and limits your flavor palette to dino nuggies and mozzarella sticks. Those guys are pretty cool. This guy gets his rocks off by killing mofos. But not any mofos, like bad mofos. So he's kind of like the Punisher. Now, as far as the premise goes, that's not much of a hook. But what makes the show interesting is his backstory. As a wee lad, Dexter was adopted by his foster parent, Harry Morgan, who is a cop. Early on, Harry notices little signs of a serial killer. You know, the usual, killing animals, being standoffish, not be able to talk to people, not be able to make eye contact. So, as any sensible father does, he takes his son and puts him into therapy, and they have a great This dude straight up trains Dexter to go after the criminals that fall through the gaps. The criminals that he couldn't put in bars. Dexter calls it Harry's Code, and this is basically what he uses to justify killing fools. By day, he's a humble blood splatter analysis guy. By night, he is a ruthless murderer. Now that's television. Now, I gotta say, the characters of the show also really make the show good. This show gets diabolical. Now, before I go any further, let me just give you a little spoiler warning right now so that you don't get mad at me in the comments, since I'm going to be discussing a little bit more about the show. Baby spoiler warning. So if you want to go in blind, click off the video. Thank you for being here. Okay, they're gone? Okay, cool. Let me tell you about the people on the show. Closest to Dexter is his sister, Deborah Morgan, or just Deb. She swears like a sailor, drinks with the boys, and has daddy issues. My kind of woman.
What?
So in this first season, you basically see her going into homicide from hooker duty? She's the closest thing to Dexter in the show. And we see that. And we see that, you know, even though he is a monster, he cares about her. And she has no idea of his extracurricular activities. At the station, we get to see some of the other regulars in the show. So, first up, there's Vince Masuka, who is one of the most down bad motherfuckers I have ever seen in my life. This dude lives for cheeks.
All right, little Mike change. Next to him is Angel Batista, a divorced dad who is working the hardest he can for his little girl and is trying to win back his wife, who he loves, but she doesn't love him back because he cheated.
She don't mind who I flirt with as long as I bring home la pasión. La pasión. Yeah, it keeps the relationship alive.
He has no luck. In my opinion, Angel Batista is one of the best characters in this show, and he kind of holds it together. He has great relationships with everyone at the unit, whether it be Deb or Dexter, and you can really see just how seriously he takes being a cop. And no matter what, even if he's in the wrong, he will admit to it. And you see that as the show kind of progresses on. Someone who isn't as wholesome is Sergeant James Dokes.
Surprise, motherfucker.
James Dokes is a serious, no-nonsense, no bullshit veteran on the unit that constantly rides Dexter's ass. Oh! Pause. He always had a weird feeling about Dexter, and it's funny because Dexter mentions that out of everyone on the unit, he's the only one that has like a weird inkling of suspicion about Dexter. Dexter just kind of plays dumb, like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Next up is the boss and head of the department that Dexter works at, the homicide department, Lieutenant Maria Leguerta. She is a no-nonsense, no bullshit kind of woman, kind of like James Dokes, which is funny because they actually worked together in the past. Outside of work, Dexter somehow has a girlfriend. What am I doing wrong? He's dating Rita, a single mother of two to Cody and Aster. This woman, side note, probably has the worst luck I have ever seen when it comes to dating. And that's rich coming from me. Her first husband, Paul, who we see later in the season, is an abusive loser, basically, who goes to prison. And Dexter doesn't really have to worry about him until, spoiler alert, he comes back. And then her second boyfriend is our good boy Dexter, who is, a stand-up serial killer. I honestly don't know how you can have this shitty of a hand when it comes to dating, but honestly, Rita, get your shit together. Rita and Dexter's relationship is very interesting because this is the relationship that Dexter kind of uses to kind of humanize himself. It kind of gives him a glimpse into how a normal person would kind of act, with a girlfriend or being the dad that steps up. And as the show progresses, you see that this is something that Dexter uses to keep him moving forward. It kind of gives him something to fight for, because being a stone cold killer like Dexter,
What the hell, boy?
you don't really have a lot of love in your heart. But these characters like Rita and Deb, these are characters that really help Dexter flesh out his humanity. And we see that as the show progresses. It is these relationships that kind of hang in the balance as the season progresses and things go to shit. Speaking of, let's talk about the plot now. So, the big bad of the season is the ice truck killer. In the first episode, you see Dexter walk into this crime scene, normal as any day, but something's a little off. Immediately, Dexter looks at the work of this serial killer just like him, and he's kind of glazing him low-key. Usually, the usual, perpetrators are an ex-girlfriend or an abusive husband or a neighbor or something along the lines of that. But this one's a little weird. This killer is surgical, meticulous, and deliberate. Kind of like Dexter. There was thought put into this. And cherry on top, somehow this killer drains all the blood of his victims. Dexter at this point is so hooked, and he kind of feels like he's watching the art of a master of his craft. This leads to the whole A plot of the season, where it's this cat and mouse game between Dexter and the ice truck killer, constantly trying to one-up each other. Whereas Dexter is trying to find the ice truck killer, the ice truck killer is always one step ahead, but leading him with clues. And it's weird because the ice truck killer knows who Dexter is. And when I tell you, this shit got tense as hell, dude. Like, It is such a crazy plot. Like, the fact that that aspect alone, that killer knows who Dexter is, it opens up so many doors and so many possibilities, so many angles they could go for. This is really what got me hooked onto the show. Now, having said all that, you know, having such a cool premise and such a cool plot and so many twists and turns, this show has flaws. This show is great. Please watch it if you haven't watched it. But this show is kind of a product of its time. It is a serious show, but my God, is it goofy. Oh my God. I don't even know where to start. So let's just break it down. So the big reveal of the show is the ice trick killer is the long lost brother of Dexter, Rudy. Shit, what's his last name? Bro goes by a couple of names. Technically it's Rudy Moser, but he goes by Rudy Cooper. For simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna keep calling him Rudy. So let me back it up. I know that's a big reveal. Dexter was found in a box cart by good old Harry. In the box cart is Dexter and his mom, who is murdered right in front of him. And his brother Rudy.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Sitting next to his slain mother in her blood. Hence the serial killer part. Now, wait a minute, Dexter. I get that you were young. You were like 3 years old or something. But how do you forget your whole ass brother, bro? Okay, let's say you were young and you were traumatized. The show tries to explain this by saying, you know, he has this weird anxiety thing when it comes to like a lot of blood. Basically, there's a scene in the show where Rudy plants like 5 bodies worth of blood in a hotel room or a motel room. And basically Dexter comes in and falls, tripping out, basically having a panic attack. Maybe due to all the memories flooding back. But okay, fine, show, fine. If you want to be stupid, be stupid. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But riddle me this. How exactly does a blood spatter analyst have a panic attack from blood? Like, bro, it's in your job title. It's like if I tried to scare a chemist with a picture of bleach. Like, the crime scene, you know, the motel room where all that blood wasn't even a box cart. You dumped all that blood in a motel room. For what? If none of that trauma shit worked, then what, bro? How the hell did you get all that blood up there anyways? Like did you use a forklift? Bro, are you forklift certified? How the hell did you get all that blood up there, dude? Like, does the city not use cameras? Like, did nobody, like, question you? I don't know. The show tries to paint it as this weird thing that these brothers have where they can kind of read each other's minds. Like, at this point in the show, you know, for at least most of the show, Dexter has no idea who Rudy is. But he's playing like this weird, you know, game with him, which is very entertaining to see, like I mentioned before. But multiple times, Rudy manages to break into Dexter's apartment when Dexter's not there. Like, you didn't think to put up a camera or something? Like, one camera, dude. Like, one Ring doorbell would have done the trick. Like, dude, he was breaking into your apartment every week. You might as well have put cookies out for the guy. Like, I don't know if Dexter wasn't thinking or what, but did he not realize that, like, dude, if he knows this much about you, he could go after, like, Rita, he could go after the kids, he could go after Deb, and ding, 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 that's exactly what he does. My last point is gonna kind of be about the Metro PD, whatever they're called. I always mess up their name. The Metro Miami Department, the Metro Miami Police Department, Metro Miami Poop Department, the Metro Miami Police Department. It's a good thing these guys are not real. Like, these cops can't even do cop shit right. Like, here's an example. Right off the bat, they mention this killer has surgical precision. Oh my gosh, he must know so much about anatomy. And then they don't press any surgeons. Like, do you really mean to tell me they didn't look into any doctors? Any of them? Like, this new ice truck killer cuts off body parts and uses them in his clues. Like, did you not think to maybe look into doctors that maybe specialize in, I don't know, amputee restoration? Like what Rudy ended up being? But doesn't matter because our boy, Angel Batista, started asking the right questions. But the show goes about it in this like weird way where he's dancing with a girl who happens to have like an amputee fake Lego hand. He sees kind of the nail polish colors that resemble what the clues were. But that wasn't the smoking gun. You know, any logical person, I feel like, would be like, okay, where did you get this amputee restoration done? I don't know if that's the right term. I'm so sorry for all my amputee people out there. I would ask, where did you get this fake limb? Right? I think anyone would ask that. And then that would probably lead you to the person that made the arm. Right? Wrong. He sees the arm and he goes to consult Rudy. You didn't think to maybe ask the lady where she got that arm made? Because it was Rudy, bro. Or if she maybe even knew Rudy, or if they have... So Angel goes to confront Rudy about it, and Rudy starts getting spooked and decides to shank Angel in the back of a parking lot. But he doesn't finish the job because he gets interrupted. You're a doctor. Yeah, IJ, right here. You could... Just saying. And eventually Angel thinks about it in the hospital, and they end up catching him. But that just goes to show how the show can be a little goofy sometimes. But it doesn't really matter because this was an amazing first season for Dexter. Little secret, I'm currently on season 4 right now, and I'm so behind. This video took way longer than I thought, you know, with my schedule and whatnot. So I'm trying my best to get these videos out. I already have ideas for season 2, and that video will be out soon after this. But honestly, I want to build a community here about Dexter. So if you're down, go ahead and like, subscribe, hit that the Taco Bell logo, and comment what your favorite part of season 1 is. Try to keep the spoilers at a minimum because this is a very old show. But yeah, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. And if you guys want to see anything or see any shows or have any show recommendations, please put them in the comment. I go and read all of them because I am so lonely. So I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.